What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the former 2 times Olympia champion, Big Ramy, who recently stated in an interview that the reason he has been unable to compete at Mr. Olympia for the past 3 years or so is that he doesn't have a visa. Now, why would they revoke the visa of someone who has traveled to the US every single year for more than a decade, starting from 2013 onwards? As that was the year when Ramy made his Olympia debut, and his last show, that was the Arnold, Ohio, back in 2023, which is also in the US. Now we do not have more details, but at this point, there is hardly any chance that Big Ramy will ever step back on the Olympia stage, or any bodybuilding stage for that matter. He knows the judges, they won't reward his physique anymore, based on his placing at his last show, the Arnold 2023. I mean, the head judge Steve Weinberger openly said that the quads on Big Ramy, they are simply way too big for his upper body. And the newer guys, like Andrew Jack, Samson Dauda, they're coming into their own. And since then, Samson Dauda has won an Olympia title. Andrew Jack has been top 3. So, what does Big Ramy necessarily get if he commits to doing another bodybuilding show? And secondly, and more importantly, is his body capable of taking a beating again of a bodybuilding prep, since he has been dealing with a few injuries, like the back, like the triceps, and all those atrophies? Now, Big Ramy is a legend, not just in the Middle East, but in the bodybuilding world. He's one of the most impressive physiques to have ever stepped on any bodybuilding stage. And we are not talking about the year when he won the Olympia. I'm talking about his initial years. More specifically, 2014, when he was a total aesthetic mass monster. So Big Ramy has earned a well-deserved retirement. But that being said, the fans are gonna love and respect him a lot more if he clears his stance once and for all in regards to competing and also in regards to visa. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So today marks 4 years since we lost one of the most aesthetic Mr. Olympia, the late Shawn Rhoden. 7 years since he pulled the biggest upset at the Olympia stage by beating the unbeatable Phil Heath. So time goes by so fast. But this is a good day to remember Shawn Rhoden, the bodybuilding legend who wasn't allowed to defend his Olympia title, which is the most unique case in all of bodybuilding history. So his fans are still very bitter over how terribly he was treated after that one scandal that ruined his entire career, his mental health, and his psychological health. Now, no disrespect towards the Olympia top 3 back in 2019, Brendan, Bonak, and Hadi Chopin. But had Shawn Rhoden would have been there, especially if he brought that same package as 2018, he would have won his second Olympia title, and he probably would have won in 2020 and in 2021 as well. That's how good this guy was. Now Shawn will go down as one of the most aesthetic Mr. Olympia that we have ever seen. And it's a real shame that when this guy really hit his prime in terms of unlocking his true potential, when his back also started to get better. And we saw that in 2018, where he did lose the back shots against Phil Heath, but he was able to close that gap big time. From that year, he did not step on a bodybuilding stage, not even once. So Shawn will be on the top of that list of those guys who had the most incredible midsection and a world-class abs and thigh shot. So he beat Phil Heath, who is considered one of the most dominant Olympia champion the sport has ever seen, apart from Ronnie Coleman. This just goes to show us how awesome Shawn truly was. Next up, we have an update from Urs Kalecinski. 4 weeks post-Olympia, his first ever appearance in the men's Open Olympia. So the experts say that for Urs to be competitive at the Olympia level, especially at the top level, he needs about 2 years to grow to get bigger. And I have got to say that is nothing. That's a good thing. because this guy is still very young and his frame does allow him to put on quite a lot of muscle and still be very aesthetic and very classic. So Urs winning 2 Open Pro shows in his rookie run in the Open Bodybuilding, that was a real shocker for every bodybuilding fan this year. But we know the Olympia is altogether a different ballgame. The top 10 at the Olympia, they're all very big and very competitive guys. So the expectations of top 8 at his first ever Olympia, that was kind of unrealistic. But that being said, he did beat a couple of very good guys who have been competing in the Open for so many years now. So the front of Urs, that is extremely impressive. And after looking at this collage, there would be zero doubt that he 100% belongs in the Open Bodybuilding category. So this upcoming off-season, that will be a very crucial one for Urs. He was putting on weight without even trying to be an Open bodybuilder. So this will be the first time since he turned pro where Urs will be pushing to get into a new weight territory, to put on more muscle, more mass. So the legend Jake Cutler thinks that Urs has what it takes to be an Olympia champion. Let me know what you guys think. So looking at this very recent physique update from Marc Hector, it kind of seems like that he's gonna be competing at either Japan Pro or the Big Man Week in Spain. So since his last show, which was Germany, Marc decided to hire a new coach, and that is Pitor+, one of the best coaches right now. So Marc was in that top 3 in Italy, behind Quinton and Urs. Now he did have some shots, like the side chest, the side tricep, the most muscular, where he's the winner. Those are very impressive shots on him, but he has been unable to fully fix the mobility issue since having that double shoulder surgery, which makes his front double and the front lat spread very uncomfortable shots for him. So his chances of winning his first pro show, that is all dependent on who shows up at the show that he decides to go on. Akeem Williams, he isn't qualified for the Olympia yet, so he can make another run for his Olympia spot for next year, and so will John Pradels. But if somehow Marc Hector is able to win a show, especially in this post-Olympia tour, he can have an entire off-season planned with Pitor+ to make his Olympia debut a very impactful one in 2026. So the upcoming Romania Pro is one of those shows where getting the win will get you the automatic qualification for the Olympia next year. Because as per the new rules, you get 10 points for winning a classic physique show. So besides Jose Manuel, aka Josema Beast, the guy number 4 in the world, the one guy I really wanna see here in classic, that is Piotr Wowitz. Look at the chest development of this guy, arguably one of the best in the entire classic physique division right now. So this guy has some of the craziest aesthetics in the entire bodybuilding. He has those round shoulders, crazy arms, the biceps and the triceps, they are also superb. He has that super tiny waistline, very chiseled midsection, amazing quad sweep. And not just the sweep, the insertions on his legs, they are pretty damn insane, as the guy has those feathers all over his lower half. So this guy just made his pro debut a couple of weeks before the Olympia this year. He won that show, and then he actually did very well at the Olympia this year at his Olympia debut. Now I'm not so sure how much weight he can put on before he hits his weight cap, but if he has some room to grow, he should 100% focus on bringing up his back, especially the upper back, in terms of density and the thickness. And this is a guy who has classic written all over him, and he will surely be moving up those Olympia ranks in 2026. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.